Hello. This is Brad. I'm trying for the third time to um, do a live. I'm trying to do a YouTube post for my journey, and it looks like my screen is not working again. That's annoying. Well, my face is not showing up. Well, I'm just gonna practice again, I guess. And talk about why I'm what led me to starting the lift program. I am 34 years old, and ever since I've been 17, I developed problems with my hip, my left hip. I've I grew up with a lifestyle of sitting in front of a computer and like kind of, for hours and hours every day for all of my youth, most of my youth. And I think that was already the building blocks for developing injuries. And by the time that I was 17, or I was pretty athletic, and by the time I was 17, I was training for varsity and cross country, and I ended up developing this tension and pain in my left hip that put me out of doing cross country and any other kind of sport like that for the rest of my high school career. So that was really depressing. And let's flash back several years when I become a mother. I have had 4 kids, and 3 of the first few, I didn't notice any signs, really. And if I did have them, which I kind of do remember one time trying to pick up a baby and not doing it the right way, and I just felt that some really intense, like weird pain in my back for a second. I didn't really know what I was experiencing enough to realize that it needed attention or maintenance or rehabilitation, because like no one talked about that kind of thing with me, and I never heard people talk about it with each other. Um, so now flash to my 4th child. Right after when I was pregnant with my 4th child, I started noticing and feeling like there was something not quite right when I would go to the bathroom sometimes, or maybe I might, and then I noticed something was not right, but I didn't pay too much attention to it or know what to do about it anyway. I just knew something maybe wasn't right there. And then after I had my 4th baby, I noticed that it was hard to pee. It took a lot longer. Like something was kind of blocking it there, and things weren't where they were meant to be. And I was kind of nervous, and I kind of knew something was wrong, but I like didn't really know what to do. I didn't know if I should I didn't know that I should, consider that there was ways I need to rehabilitate there. Not like with anything like exercise or stretches or breathing properly or nothing. So I kind of just went on my regular life, and I try to do postnatal yoga sometimes. And um, I remember that one time I got really good at doing the postnatal yoga, and I tried to ride a bike, and then I remember putting my back out really badly to the point where I couldn't even stand for a couple of days. And I remember that times I would get really bad neck pain too, like I would throw my neck out or something. And I feel like I was doing postnatal yoga, and maybe that wasn't really helping. Deep it would I would just kind of like give up maybe and stop what I was doing. Like uh yeah. So I have had issues like developing my left foot, where because my left hip is where I've started getting problems. And so my left foot started getting really weird, and like felt like bones and tendons were pulling out of place, and like I couldn't even walk properly on my foot, and without like, I mean, sorry, what's the word for it? Limping. I couldn't even walk on my foot without limping. And then I would then that's when I really started thinking, wow, something's not right. And I thought maybe it was my shoes, so I tried to get different shoes. That wasn't working. At first it seemed like there was this illusion of it working, but then like my foot started getting problematic again quickly after wearing them for a few days or a week. And I tried to get a new bed, and that kind of took off some of the pressure, but like the core problems were not resolved. So those weren't going away. They were still complicating my life. Um, there finally, because of like this limp, I started seeing a physical therapist. They gave me some strengtheners and stretchers to do, and they told me I had anterior pelvic tilt. But they didn't really talk about pelvic floor or prolapse prevention or anything like that. And it turned out that near the end, after I had already done all these sessions and had to pay them, they didn't even know about women's health at all. That wasn't something they were trained in. So they gave me a paper, told me to look for these people that were specialists in pelvic floor and women's health. And turned out that I couldn't even see the one that was a few towns out because they couldn't accept my insurance. And then I tried to call the one in my area, and she can't see me unless I get a referral from a general doctor. I don't have a general doctor because I tried to see a naturopath instead because I want to have more of a holistic approach on my health, and I don't feel that I get that um, with general doctors. Um, I don't have a general doctor, so when I went to go get one, it turned out that it would take months and months for me just to see one. And like my body wasn't wanting to wait months and months, so that was kind of stressful and scary because like it's like, wow, I can't see someone for my pelvic floor problems, my urgent problems, unless I have to see this general doctor who then has to refer me. And it just really felt upsetting and stressful for me, because it's just like when someone's suffering, then why can't they just see somebody to help them right away? Why do they have to wait and wait and wait? What if my problems got worse and worse? And that was a fear of mine, that my problems would get worse and worse. And then what if I had to do surgery, or my problems got irreversible because they got so far without getting help? And so I basically was waiting for months and months. And in the meantime, it's like, well, I'm not waiting for this person. I'm going to look online and use YouTube. And then I found Dr. Bree, and I found her and other people on YouTube too. But I gravitated towards Dr. Bree because I felt like the way that she talked was so personable and so friendly, warm, and kind and inviting. And I felt like that's the kind of voice I wanted to hear. And it was like more like a person that was present with me, kindly sharing tips and tricks and wisdom on how I could take better care of myself and be more careful and safe with my body and moves, and like learn about my body anatomy. And like I just felt like I wanted to listen to her more than any of the other people that are on YouTube, because I sometimes felt like some of the other people, I just felt like they maybe weren't as personable for me as Dr. Bree. So I really started taking to her videos. And there's a lot of helpful ones. There's ones about interviews, about pelvic health and empowerment, and like so many different videos that address like shoulders health and how that's connected to the pelvic floor health. And a weak pelvic floor can create more problems, which is what happened to me. Like I had that foot problem, and then all of a sudden I try to do all this yoga, trying to get healthier, thinking I just need to get a strong core, like in my abs, not knowing it's also the pelvic floor, not even knowing what that was really. And I remember one day I just started feeling like this thing was sinking inside of me more than ever before, almost like it was down in my canal, my lady canal, and it really scared me. And I started getting really tight in my chest, and I was hyperventilating a lot too. And I started like just going to the floor and laying down and trying to get my hips up, like Dr. Reed talks about. And I just there was like a week or more, where I was just really trying to hang low, like stay low, hang on the ground, and try to do stretches to relax myself, to because I was so scared about this feeling of something falling out of me. I was afraid of that feeling. And luckily, because of her videos, I was able to feel encouraged, not alone, and not as scared. And sometimes I even cried a little because I felt really encouraged by her videos. And it just gave me hope that I can make a difference in my own life, and I don't need to wait for a person that is making me jump through hoops just to see them. Like, maybe it's not that person's fault, it's the system's fault. But I'm really glad that there's someone like Dr. Bree who like isn't waiting for money necessarily to be helpful. She has all this free content that she shares with others to help improve their lives and make them feel like they have answers that they can get, like, to make their life better. Um and not feel like they have to just get worse and worse. That they can feel freedom in their bodies and not feel like prisoners in their bodies. So I when it comes to how I'm doing today and right now, I feel like a lot of my issues are not as critical feeling. I've been doing some of her neck and shoulder stretches, and that's really helped me properly breathe again because it was getting really bad. And I've done a lot of, like, I just bought some pillows so I can do some proper hips up time at Goodwill. And my foot, I feel like, is even feeling better from addressing something that was probably connected to the foot, but I always thought it was just the foot because that's where I felt it, but it's actually in my hips more, and how I breathe and stuff, and how tense I've been. So I'm definitely still struggling, but I don't feel afraid. I definitely feel like things are hanging low in my body right now. Um, I have a tilt in my body, like an anterior pelvic tilt, and I have like really tense shoulders, and things have definitely been bent out of shape for a very long time. And I'm hoping that through this lift program, that I'm going to continue to learn how to be in my body in the right way, like how to free my body from all the tension that's within it that I haven't known how to free, and to get strong in the areas that I've become weak, so that I can hold everything up where it's meant to be, so I can breathe properly, so I can move freely and dance again and sing again, which are things that feel like I've been unable to do for a while, especially after this fourth baby. Um, uh, and I definitely feel like I'm in like my second or third day, and I can already feel a difference from when I'm learning about how to breathe properly and how to stand properly. And I'm really excited to be on this journey. I feel like this is hard for me to like share like this because I'm not used to doing it. This is like my first YouTube video, maybe one of them, where I'm like talking about something. And so I'm kind of nervous about that, and not and being long-winded and not making sense or not doing the best that I can. But I guess takes practice and willingness to not be very good at something before you can get better at it, right? So that's what I have to say for my getting started. Um, is that I've been kind of struggling alone a long time with physical health issues, and not had access to people who could give me helpful support or awareness that I even have problems and how to properly deal with them. And suddenly I've come across Dr. Bree, who passionately shares that and knows so much about it. And I feel like because of that, I've wanted to do her lift program for a while now. And I decided finally, as I've gotten these sudden worse situation that I'm in after trying to do a postnatal yoga video that wasn't really taking my specific challenges into consideration, because I feel like that postnatal yoga was not necessarily for someone who was having diastasis recti or prolapse, possibly. So, like, when I was doing that, I was probably making myself more tense, and it kind of brought it on. And I was probably not doing the exercises right, which is another thing I love about Dr. Bree. She like walks you through everything. She usually tells you like what it's for, or what the uses of those muscles are for, and really helps thoroughly explain it. I've never really had that before, and it's really helpful, and it really sticks with me that way. Like, I can realize more about my body every time I watch one of her videos and do one of her videos. Well, that is so my goal for the outcome is to just reverse this heaviness down below, to keep learning what it means to truly breathe the proper way, to learn how to stand properly and do dishes properly would be helpful, and to walk properly, and find balance in my hips, so, and like move freely, carry my own baby um without fear, going up and down stairs without fear, maybe jump on a trampoline again. I want to learn how to just feel good in my body, walking long distances, and not feel like that throws me out, and maybe even running again one day. I haven't really done that ever since I was 17 and I got this first injury. I've had dreams about running again one day and thought that was impossible. But after I'm learning what Dr. Bree teaches, now I'm realizing it could be possible again now. So maybe those dreams were prophetic and they were meant to show me the kind of future I can have, that I could again run, maybe do marathons one day, and not be forever debilitated by past injuries. I'm really excited to do this journey, and I will check back in 4 weeks to say how my experience is so far. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great day.